Hey guys, it's Candy with Candy's Cocktails. Thanks for joining me for another episode. Today we're going to be shaking up a whiskey sour two ways. We're going to be doing one on the rocks and then the other is going to be served straight up in a coupe glass. And there's a twist to the one that's going to be served up. So let's go ahead and get building our first whiskey sour that's going to be on the rocks. So I have my Boston shaker here. I'm going to go ahead and add in some ice. And we're gonna need 3 ingredients for this. We're gonna need some bourbon. We're also gonna be using some lemon juice, as well as a sweetener, and my sweetener of choice is a maple syrup. Other sweeteners that you can use are gonna include agave, simple syrup, or even like a honey syrup. And a honey syrup is just equal parts honey and water that allows for that honey to be poured in and mixed in a lot easier. So let's go ahead and add in 2 ounces of bourbon. And then after that, we're gonna be adding in our lemon juice. I have already pre-juiced my lemons. You know, I like fresh is best, so I have my lemon juice here. We're gonna add in 3/4 ounce. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that there. Awesome. And then we're gonna add in a 1/2 ounce of our maple syrup. I believe that the flavor of the maple syrup just mixes with that bourbon and brings out these other nice, comfy, like warm notes to it. It's so good, but play around with those sweeteners. Find what works best for you. Okay, we're gonna get that top on and let's get things shaking. Remember, you always wanna shake for at least 20 seconds just to allow all of those ingredients to mix in really well together. You'll start to notice the outside of your shaker get nice and frosty. All right, I have my rocks glass here. And I have chosen to just use a large ice cube. You can use just smaller ice cubes or an ice sphere, whatever works best for you, whatever is your preference. I opted though for the large ice cube. We're gonna pour this right on in. I can smell all of those flavors. I feel like that maple syrup just brings out these nice, earthy, yummy notes to it. Okay, for garnishing this cocktail, I like to add in a lemon wheel. That color is just really pretty. And then I also garnish with Luxardo cherries. These cherries add a rich depthness to the cocktail. If you have never had these cherries, I strongly urge you, go out, pick some up. They are amazing. And I like to put 3 cherries on a skewer just like that. You can set it right on top of the cocktail. I think it looks really pretty like that. Or you can drop them right on in. It's really up to you, but I can't wait. I better go ahead and have a little sip of this because it smells amazing. Absolutely delightful. Okay, so hang tight. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out my shaker because we're gonna shake up this second whiskey sour. All right, guys, I am back and I have my clean shaker here. I don't have any ice in this. We're gonna get building that second whiskey sour, and this one's gonna be served straight up. And like I said, there's a twist to it. With this whiskey sour, we are gonna be adding in an egg white. I know, some people might be like, an egg white in a cocktail, but it's gonna add this smooth silkiness to the cocktail that's absolutely to die for. Okay, so like I said, no ice in our shaker yet, but let's go ahead and get these ingredients going. So we're gonna use the same proportions of our bourbon, lemon juice, and maple syrup. So I'm gonna add in my 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 and 2, okay. And then we're gonna get our lemon juice and we're gonna go with a 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. There we go. And then we're gonna have a 1/2 ounce of our maple syrup. Here we go. Beautiful. I have already separated out my egg white from my egg yolk. So I have it in this little bowl here, and we're going to do what's called a dry shake. So I'm adding in my egg white. When using egg whites in your cocktail, make sure that you always use pasteurized egg whites. Food safety comes first, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna put this lid on and we're gonna do what's called a dry shake. And this is just mixing all of these ingredients together without any ice. You wanna be very careful when you're mixing these. As you can see, I had a little bit splatter out. Sometimes that pressure builds up. These things happen, and that is okay. If anyone has any tips or tricks, feel free to share them because I am all up for it. I am learning too. Okay, when you look inside of your cocktail shaker, you'll notice that there is some foam already building up, and that's just from all of that air mixing in. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our ice. All right. Put our top back on, and we're gonna get this shaken again. Once we've added our ice, we're gonna shake for at least 20 seconds. I do have my coupe glass already here. We're gonna strain this into that, so let's just get this shaking. For this cocktail, once it's served like this, I do not garnish it with the cherry or the lemon wheel. I actually just try to be a little artistic and dab some of that cherry juice on top of it. Try to be creative. I also can't really make any fancy designs, but if you are able to create some beautiful designs with that cherry juice, post your pictures in the comments below. I would love to see what kind of creations you can make. All right, so let's get this separated out. Clearly, I am struggling with that today, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna grab my Hawthorne strainer, and we're gonna pour this right on in. You can see how the color of this one has changed. There's that nice foam that we have created right on top of that. I'm gonna grab my Luxardo cherries, and then I'm just gonna use the spoon to dip that in, and then we just kind of drizzle that on. Once you start sipping on this, that cherry juice kind of comes through, and it is yummy. Like I said, I'm not super artsy. I didn't make the world's prettiest design, but I can tell you this looks absolutely yummy. That is delicious. That silkiness that comes from the egg white, both cocktails are super yummy, but I gotta say, I think the egg white really elevated this cocktail for me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Candy's Cocktails. Always remember, when you're consuming these yummy cocktails or any alcoholic beverage, always drink responsibly. Cheers and have a great one.